everyone. We're almost to the summit of Eholt, Highway 3, between Grand Forks and Greenwood, headed westbound. See snow on the mountains in the background. So we're headed to Penticton. My GPS says we'll get there at 1:09 right now. It's going to be more likely 1:30. I'm not sure what time they stop unloading at Greenwood in Penticton. I know the company in Penticton is called Greenwood, and we're coming up to the town of Greenwood, but it can get confusing. If they stop loading at 2, we can get unloaded today. If they stop unloading at 1, like I somehow remember they stop at 1, but we'll see. I'll pull in anyway. If I can get unloaded, I can. If not, I can't. Either way, if I can't get unloaded or if I get unloaded, I'll head to Larson Tire after and get a tire fixed on my trailer. Very slow leak. Not something that is crucial to be fixed today, but if I've got the time, I'll get it fixed today. I let dispatch know, and he just goes, "I thought you fixed that last week." I'm like, "Yeah, I did. This is a different tire." Like, keep finding flat tires. I don't know what's going on. And most of them are valve stems. This is tire number 4, and only one of them has been an actual nail in the tire. All the rest have been valve stems. I don't know what this one will be. I can't hear a leak anywhere. I can't see any bubbles when the roads are wet. I just know that it's losing air. Beautiful fall colors. Absolutely beautiful. It's starting to cloud up a bit. First thing in the morning it was just a blue sky, but a few hours later all of a sudden it's cloudy again. If I can let these people pass here, I'm going to take my time to the merge. One guy's going for it. There we go. Get those guys by before I don't have to slow down to 60 on this corner anyway, so let them by before I have to slow down and don't have these eager people behind me making dangerous passes. Prefer to have those aggressive drivers in front of me, not behind me. Pretty much down the whole Eholt here, I've got to do 70 around the corners. So I kind of fluctuate between 70 and 80. The little straightaways I go up to 80 and then slow it down to 70 again. No point in bringing it up right to 100. and then hit the brakes hard. Yeah, when we're climbing the Pulse and we're following a driver all the way from Castlegar all the way to the brake check. We were chatting with him on the radio, but I've lost him after that. When I caught up with him, very slowly I caught up with him. He said that I could go ahead and pass him, and it's like, I can't. I have my throttle all the way down. I am doing everything I can just to stay on his bumper. I didn't have to lift a single time. You know, we had a conversation. He found that I'm in an automatic and he's in a manual. And he was quite impressed with the automatic. It takes a while to learn the automatic, but once you get used to it and learn where it shifts and where its little quirks are, you can drive more efficient than someone riding a manual, because every time I caught up with him is when he was not as efficient with his shifts. As long as once he found out I had an automatic, he started staying in front of me because he was being very efficient in his shifts. He's like, okay, I can't miss a single shift. You cannot let an automatic pass. So after that, he just stayed in front of me, and it's pretty much even, all the way to the brake check. Only time he pulled away is around a corner where I slowed down. Going down the Pulse and I lost him. Because once again in the automatic, I know that mountain well enough. I know exactly what gear I can be in. So I know the highest gear I can be in to safely make it all the way to the bottom without touching my brakes. Pride myself in being able to get to the bottom of every mountain without touching my brakes. And yeah, every now and then I have to lightly tap them. But most days I can get down without touching any brakes going down the mountains. Beautiful colors. All the green and the yellow mixed together. Big white marshmallows on the fields. Now you're hungry for marshmallows?
Yeah. I never thought about it as little marshmallows.
Not little marshmallows, huge marshmallows. They're just wrapped hay bales, but
now I see them as marshmallows.
there's an Aero truck, I think. That's not an Aero truck, it's a different company. Let's pick a lower gear and get that 80. Yesterday we made it just barely to Spokane, Washington to get loaded there. That was a beautiful drive. Took different roads that I thought I had never been on, but once I was on the road, I'm like, I recognize this place. I remember these corners. Just vaguely remember them, so I must have been on those roads in the past, just with our pickup or with our car or even with the SUV way back in the day. Because I have been in a lot of Washington roads. And I like to take different roads whenever I can, so that might have been one of those times. Just barely in time to get loaded there. Made it to the border about 20 minutes before the border closes. So just made it through there. And border crossing was very thorough, asked lots of questions, both of me and Jess. I think what raised the red flag with him was we loaded in Spokane, and yet we crossed the border the day before. It's like, he even asked him why we, or he just said, so you guys stayed overnight, huh? Like, yep. When I told him that I delivered in Portland, I think it made a little more sense to him that, crossed the border, delivered to Portland, and picked up in Spokane. I'm surprised he did not ask if I made a delivery from Portland to Spokane, because it seems to be an insane amount of time to be running empty. And it would be completely illegal for me to have a load going from Portland to Spokane, because Canadian drivers are not allowed to load in the US and then deliver in the US. If we are going to pick up in the US, that load must come to Canada. And that law is in place for the US so that Canadian drivers don't steal American jobs. Or else you'd have all these Canadian drivers just bouncing around between states. Sure, I just took that corner too fast, didn't I? Yeah, 10 over. Oops. I mean, it felt fine at 80. But I'm like, wait, I think that was a 70. Okay, down into Greenwood. Let's shift down up here. Doesn't look like we have to shift down. Nowhere does it say we have to shift down. There's no sign of us needing to slow down, but except for the sign that said you aren't allowed to use Jake brakes. Actually, it doesn't say you're not allowed to use Jake brakes. It just says, please refrain from using Jake brakes. It's not illegal if you stay under the noise. I've got muffled Jake brakes, so I can stay under the noise. Except for the fact that my manifold is busted, and every now and then I hear the Jake brakes nice and loud. But I think when I was in the shop over the weekend, they must have done a temporary fix to it. They've ordered the parts, and a week and a half from now it'll be in the shop and they'll actually replace all the parts. That tunnel used to be the highway, and there used to be a railroad going over top of it. The other thing wrong with the truck is the engine mount. One of the engine mounts is worn out. So the truck has an appointment in. The trailers don't yet, but I looked today. I thought the trailers inspection expired this month, but it's next month they expire. So if they don't get in this month, it's fine. Greenwood. One of those cities that always looks like it's in a decline. Everything is getting in worse condition. Every now and then you see a new house being built, but for the most part, most houses are in decline. to actually turn my cruise control on if I want to use it. Funny that, huh? Greenwood has been under construction for over a year now. Definitely very, very, very slow at fixing that. I think they're replacing the sewer system down those streets. I got yelled at the traffic controller last week for coming through too fast. Do you guys see any speed limit signs? 50? Yeah, 50? I was doing 30. Apparently that was too fast for her. I think the reason why it was too fast for her, I had to slow down over here, and then I put the throttle down with a turbo spooling up and the fan kicking on. It sounds like I'm just racing up, but if you actually look at my speed, I'm crawling. But when the engine turbo spools up, it just howls. From the outside, it sounds like it's I'm being very aggressive, but you can be driving really slow and be making a lot of noise. Oh, they've put in a ticker. And they put 2 tickers on the road, 2 in a row, which does 2 things. It will count how many vehicles come across, and it will also tell them how fast we were going. How far apart were those tickers hit. So on average, are people speeding or not? And that's basically just research to see if any road improvements are required or speed limits need to be adjusted. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We will, well, I think Jess is going to stay at home today, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Since we're going back home to Penticton, she'll do a half week. Why not? She was going to stay home this week anyway, and then she found out I was going to Portland on Monday, and she's like, I'm coming with. Now that we've gone to Portland and back, she wants to stay home again. Get the best of both worlds. Beautiful fall colors, absolutely beautiful. Anyway guys, hit that thumbs up, and we will see you. Apparently I'm not fast enough for these guys.